How do you usually respond? Rebecca Fegan, longtime teacher and Toastmaster, has some insights into this attempt to box us in and how we can avoid boxing someone else in. Help me welcome distinguished Toastmaster Rebecca Fegan in. You can't do that. You do that, Rebecca Fegan.
First of all, I'd like to tell you that when he brought up the NTS ants, I thought those were the trees on Lord of the Rings. No? Okay. I want you to picture this so that you can see it in your mind. She stands at the door of the calculus room, looking at the scores from the first test. And she stares, she looks, where's my name? So she starts at the bottom. She starts wondering, was the advisor right? You can't do that. Are you insane? This is for a math major. You're not a math major. This guy got 62%. He's a math major. But her name isn't down there. So she starts scrolling up. You know that if your husband does your homework, you're not going to do well on the tests. I said, the husband doing the homework? No, I've been doing the homework. What makes you think that I wouldn't be doing? This guy's a computer science major. He got 84%. But her name isn't in the middle of there. So she starts scrolling up. She says, you know, girls are never good at math. You can't do that. Well, here's the secret, she said. When she was confronted with these you can't, she says, oh yeah? Watch me. And there she was. 96%, top 6 in the class. She was not a math major. So when she was faced with this, you can't do that, she said, oh yeah? Watch me. How many times have you been in there and they say, oh, you're right, I can't. It's too scary. It means that I have to change something. Now, you can either be afraid of moving forward or moving backwards. You can be afraid of failing. You can be afraid of succeeding. But it's nice and comfortable right here. Except if you're on an escalator, you're moving either way. You may not be moving, but the stairs are moving. It's sort of like putting money in a bank. And it says, we offer 0.075% on your money. So yeah, you're going up this way. The economy is going this way. And so when you pull the stuff out, you can't buy as much. It's the same thing when you're growing up within yourself. If you are standing still, if you're not growing, you're getting smaller. You're dying. So let me tell you about Bob. Bob was an amazing basketball player, but he was 5'4". And his coach said, Bob, you're really good, but you're 5'4". You know, I can't really put you on the varsity. You can't play up to that level. And he goes, oh yeah? Watch me. So it got down to the third quarter of one of the games, and their best player fouled out. And Bob says, send me in. The guy just threw up his hands. They were already 20 points behind. Go ahead. Go on in. He goes on, and the other team is going. They were making fun of him. And he just standing there smiling. The first play, he walks up and he's getting ready to go. And one of the guys shoots the ball and misses. This little fella out jumped the 6-footers and rebounded the ball, ran down the court, and they're saying, who was that? And goes in for a layup. Ha! He scored 2 points. Then the other team takes the ball and they're going down the court, real cool. And suddenly he looks down, he doesn't have the ball anymore, and there goes Bob. And he scores again. So they toss it in, all the way across. It's getting close to the line. And there's Bob. He has beat the rest of the team down to the other side, intercepts the ball, runs down, scores again. He scored 3 times in 2 minutes. The rest of the quarter had everybody on their feet. They were all excited. They're jumping up and down. They're saying, look at this. They were 20 points behind, and now they have 2 points to go. Who are we going to throw it to? Oh, let's throw it to the center. The center threw it back to Bob, and Bob scored. Now, what did he say? You can't do that. Oh, yeah? Watch me. So, when you are faced with somebody saying, you can't do that, what are you going to say? Oh, yeah? Watch me. All right. Another story, completely unrelated. This guy named Joel, he had autism. And I'm talking full out, legs crossed in a pretzel, moving back and forth. And he wanted to play guitar. He talked to his mom. His mom talked to 5 music teachers. And so she's standing there and he's like this. And they said, I'm sorry, he can't play guitar. It's too hard. It's too abstract. He can't possibly play guitar. So what did he say? Oh, yeah? Watch me. He got to a music teacher that says, of course, yeah, bring him in. He got farther along in his guitar lessons in 3 years than the normal people did. He was grade 4 book. They were at grade 2 book at the end of 3 years. Why do we box people in? We have a wonderful idea that if we do this, then that person can do that. If I can do this, that person can't do this. They like to put all these expectations down into a little box and shove you in it. But that's not who you are. Do any of you know what your limits are? How could you? Have you ever pushed them? We just got done with a contest. International contest, you know what that takes, right? Months ahead. You've written out the ideas, what you want to speak about. You crafted the speech. You've chosen exactly the right words. You've done your choreography. You've done everything that you need to do. You said, all right, it's ready. Then you give it to Keith Jones and he says, what are all these ands in here? All these I's in here. Oh, rewrite. Maybe if you put this paragraph there, now it's perfect. It's wonderful. You try it out on your clubs, as many clubs as possible. You're working really hard. You're making sure that they are getting this message, and it's the deepest message you've ever given, and you are just stuck in your brain where you are in the message. You are passionate about it. You feel it. You express it. You do everything right, and you get second place. But second place on district is nothing to sneeze at. What happens after that? Do you go back to writing the speeches for your clubs like you were doing before? We call this the rubber band theory. If you take a rubber band and you put it on your hand, around your fingers, and try to spread it, what happens? You start getting fatigued. Your fingers start to shake, and then you get all the pain goes up the arm, down the back. How do you do that? How do you keep that rubber band stretched? Well, you open your hand further and it slides onto your wrist. Aha! Yeah, only one problem with that. It starts to cut off the circulation. All right, the rubber band is the I can't rubber band. I can't. And it either comes from inside or it comes from outside. When it comes from inside, how do you defeat that? You say, well, I didn't have that problem before. Why should I have that problem now? If it comes from outside, you can't do that. And what do you say? Oh, yeah, watch me. Okay. So now you've got this rubber band on your arm. And you say, why do I have this rubber band? You take it off and you start shooting at people. All right. The point of that is that you should not be constrained about what you think you can do, because what you think you can do may not be as far as you can move. Oh, yeah, well, I could probably jump off of this. I'm not going to do it. I can't do that and look graceful. Oh, yeah. Well, okay, no, we're not going to do that. Yeah, the point is, when we put ourselves in a box, we have no idea how big we can stretch. We continue to push out on these boundaries so we don't go back into rubber band, getting back to the regular place, the things that you were doing before. How can you step back after you've achieved a great speech? What happens to the people that, oh yeah, I won the district speech contest. Yep, I'm really good at that. Uh-huh. Yeah, Toastmasters meeting. Uh-huh. What? I have a speech tonight? How could you go back to that? What you have just achieved this a marvelous, wonderful thing, and you're stepping back to what you were doing before? Why would you do that? Nobody would do that. It takes constant stretching, constant growing. What can I do to be a better speaker, a better leader? Constant experimentation, constant worrying, well, maybe not worrying, being aware of your phobias, being aware of the words, the people that you hang out with, being aware of all the things that can keep you back here, not moving on that escalator. Reminds me of a joke. How come you were late to the meeting? Well, I got on the escalator and it stopped. I was stuck on the escalator for 2 hours. Was there possibly another way you could have used the escalator? No, escalators move. See, and this one wasn't moving. Go up the stairs. Oh, I never thought about that. As he said, that's not a barrier. That's just a spot in the road. That's where we're going. We are looking forward to making ourselves the best we can be. And you don't know what that is until when your very last breath, you say, I think I've almost got it. So when you're doing this type of thing, you got to remember that nobody else knows where their boxes end either. So don't put anyone else in a box. That's not fair to them.